And we're back.
Yes.
It's Friday. We're getting ready for the weekend here. We're just going to enjoy ourselves during the show, have some great conversations. And we're starting it off with
Mr. Fitzroy Francis of Mightyful13.
There he is.
Welcome.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure, and thank you for having me, DBoss and Mr. Youre on this show today. I'm really grateful.
Oh, that's nice.
All right. And can you tell everybody where you come from?
Well, my name is Fitzroy Francis. I'm born and grew in Jamaica, Waterhouse, a community rich with musical heritage like the Black Youre, Wayne Flengteng Smith, King Jammies, King Tubbies, Andrew Bees, just to name a few, And we have been in the music business for almost 30 years. And Jamaica is the mecca of reggae, so that's where I'm really from. I currently reside in Maryland, USA, and pursue my music career,
Wow.
Under the Mightyful13 records label.
No, wait, I have a question. You mentioned the group, what, Black is it Uru or Uhuru?
Black Uhuru.
That's
Black
Uhuru. See, that's what we discussed that before you came on, because she said Black Uru. I said, I've never heard of Black Uru, but I've heard of Black Uhuru.
Okay.
So that's fantastic.
Well, you don't know. Yes, Black Uhuru is the first reggae Grammy Award winning group, out of Jamaica.
Yeah. They've been around since like the late 70s, right?
Yes, they're like from 75 until present,
Yeah.
It's a really group of really magnitude that bring reggae music to the fore of the corner of the world. Yeah.
Well, that's great. So they're one of the major, biggest reggae acts, historical reggae acts, right?
Yeah, they are. They're one of the epitome of Jamaica's music,
Yeah.
Marley, yeah.
Well, Fitzroy's behind a lot of the scenes and behind a lot of people that, I know him for a while. So he works behind and he does a lot of stuff behind the scenes and sometimes he's in front of the scenes also. So he curated, can you tell everybody a little bit about Mightyful13?
Yeah. Well, Mightyful13 advent in 2000, the advent of Mightyful13 was 2011, which Xanadu was my first artist that I produced on the label, Trade Win. And, DBoss, you was one of my first, you is not one of, but you're the first person who really advertise and promote Mightyful13. So for that, we are very grateful,
Thank you.
Very grateful. And we have produced a lot of artists, like China Nicole, we have Andrew Bees, we have Dan Firebeat and King Me, who's from Canada. We also have Crescency, who's one of the premier artists,
Yes.
We have currently we have artists like Freddie Green from Nigeria, which is right now doing a song named African Civilization that is doing very well. We're really gracious for that, taking the music to the world,
And he knows if people, one thing Fitzroy, he knows if you can sing or not, if you're ready for the business.
No.
He'll tell you straight up. He'll tell you straight up if you're not really cutting the clip.
Well,
what are you gonna say?
I mean, that's important, right, Fitzroy? Because it's like you got to be 100% there. Even if you're only 97% there, it's just not good enough.
No, music is a full circle. You have to be prepared, you have to be ready, you have to be open-minded, because sometimes you don't know the music. A lot of people take shortcuts, especially in this time of technology. Not like 24 track where if you sing off key, then you gotta go. A man can fix it on key today, which for me, that organic teaching that we got from being in the studio around King Tubbies, King Jammies, around Blackpool in the studio, it helps us to apply that knowledge today. So when an artist record, we can say, listen, more emphasis there are, you're not doing it properly, because it's all about the product. So we don't do the music for ourselves, we do it for the fans. And if the fans like it, then you're doing a good job. The fans don't like it, then you gotta go back to the drawing board. So it's sometimes not to please yourself, you have to be selfless when you're producing music, because the ultimate part of it is to please the public. and the public is sometimes very hard to please. We don't give them the right music or the right vibes or the right rhythm, you know. So it's up to be 100. It can't be 99.9, 100%.
Absolutely. Well, you know, and you mentioned the technology and all that, and you know, and Autotune has almost seems to be a style these days for vocalists. I mean, you know, maybe I'm just wondering sometimes if the song is good, the singer's not that good, but you got the Autotune, and that's part of the production. I don't know. How do you feel about all that?
It has its advantage and its disadvantage. I don't like use Autotune personally
You
as a
get sick of
producer.
it after a while, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like, and I've never used it before, and I don't intend to, because I like when an artist sings his song organically and naturally. You know, when you come to that essence, then the engineer can do it. The engineer he can EQ it, he can mix it the right way. I don't believe in autotune, because when the artist is doing that performance on stage, he can't replicate that. You know, he can't replicate that autotune what he did in the studio. If you can remember this guy named Munga Honorable, he came with a song named "Me Bad From Me Born," and it was so enticing and entertaining. But when you watch him on stage, you listen for that autotune sound, and then you say, "Wow, where is that sound?" But we realize it was autotune, so it throw you off. So a lot of people use it. I say it's have its advantage and disadvantage, but I personally, as a producer, I will never use it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now, I'm just curious because you're working with these artists, and of course, you know it's a business. You want to make those artists popular. They're doing what they can on their end, writing the songs, performing the music. But do you ever kind of come in from the marketing angle in having conversations with musicians, maybe to help them make their music more popular with an audience? Or how is your relationship with your artists?
Well, I always try to have a good relation with my artist before I even approach and recording, because that is important. Education about the business of the music. The business is 90% and the music is 10%. So therefore, it is good that an artist have the knowledge about the business of the music, like register his work, you know, copyright his work, you know. So when it is in the public domain, especially now where people are not compelled to own music, you know, it's not like one time you could have buy a vinyl record. Now it's just streaming and downloading, and people are not compelled, because you will listen a song 100 times, but you don't have to purchase it. You will listen it on YouTube or via Instagram or wherever the streaming at. But to buy it, download, and own it personally, people are not compelled. So it's very important to have that relation with the artist, you know, about the marketing and how to sell themselves, the music and image, because image is very important too. You know, you
Right.
have to how to present yourself to the public. You can't be, you know, it's not some artists are hype, but sometimes you have to be human, because we are all are, and that's the most important part of the music. Be yourself and present yourself to the public, and they will embrace that. You know.
Right. So yeah, of course you want the artists to be themselves, but on the other hand, you want to present an image that is going to catch on with the public. Is there a conflict there sometimes, maybe between an artist who's trying to put on an image, but an artist also at the same time has to ideally be themselves?
There's always a conflict, because some artists off the stage, they are not who they are on stage. But there are artists who off stage and on stage are the same person. And that's what you want to apply to the public, you know,
Yeah.
because an artist must be sociable, not like run around with everybody, but at least your fans, they want a picture, they want an autograph. You know, you have to leave yourself for the public to have that opportunity to say, you know what, I would like to take a picture with Anja Bees, or I want to take a picture with Shaba. I learned that around Shaba. Shaba is a very artist that when him off the stage, he's for his fan. You understand? But when he's on the stage, he's also for his fans. And he give his fans what they want. So that is a real artist to me. You
Yes.
know? And like a lot of artists, once they come off stage, they become unreal because they think they are in this other world, and people, their fans do have access to them to even say hi or take a picture or sign an autograph. Sometimes you can buy an artist product record that you need an autograph from that artist to authenticate what you have, you know, and you don't get that opportunity because the artist just, when them come off, they don't want to talk to the fans, you know, and that's not good. As an artist, so that's a very important part of the marketing too for an artist, popularity.
Yeah. And it's bad when they don't want to speak to people because, you know, they're putting this image as like, you know, they're telling everybody back off, but yet still they want their fans to buy the music. You know,
Exactly.
and then, you know, so what do, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. You can't meet all the fans, but sometimes you have to give yourself, say, all right, I'm gonna give my fans maybe a 20 minutes or half an hour.
Right.
And whoever in that circle at that time will get that opportunity to spread that word. Say, man, I meet Shabba today, I meet Rocky or Andrew Bees, and he signed my autograph. And that go a far way because at least people know that that artist is accessible.
Yeah. And it's true because when Shaba came here to Toronto last year, Shaka Ranks, and we were in the VIP section there in the back, and like he really reached out to his fans and the people. He took time out. Even somebody was behind the fence, and
Yeah.
somebody came and said that this guy know you from Jamaica, wherever part he was from, and that Shaba took a minute and went over there and talked to him. And that was like, he didn't really have to do that. He came out of where everybody was and he went over to the fence and he talked to the person. So that really shows who he is, like that.
Definitely. And I'm glad you have that experience. So what I'm saying, that validates it very much.
So Fitzroy, so there you are in Maryland, and I'm just curious. I mean, it would just seem to me that most of the reggae scene is, of course, down in Jamaica. I'm just curious what brought you to Maryland, or what are you doing there?
Well, I used to live in New York. I'm here with my wife. My wife lives in Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
where I came from, New York, America. I started my production in New York City. But, you know, sometimes it's not where you start, it's where you continue. So, you know, being here in
I had the love. He fell in love.
So
And
I have to give my wife, Mistress Phyllis Francis, credit for having me in Maryland, you know, because it's not me, myself here. It's not me and my wife. So, yeah.
And she's big too.
Pursue the music, yeah?
She's big too, right? So, you know, you can tell.
Shabba Radio Station, Global Links Radio.
Yes.
You know, you can find it on the web, globallinksradio.com. You know, it's a multicultural radio. You have Latin music, you have reggae, you have calypso, you know, you have the Clinton Lindsay blog, you have Mr. Tony Carr. So it's a radio station to check out. It's a one of a kind, you know, as I say, multicultural, not just reggae. You know, you can hear music of all genres of the world, which is very important today, you know. And that kind of grown in me to the producer, because sometimes I hear songs that I've never heard before through Global Links Radio. You know, a lot of people, they're stuck to reggae, but, you know, music is music, and the world is full of other genre of music. So we have to embrace that multicultural experience, you know. So, yeah.
And when you're and Fitzroy, he's very serious when they're mastering the songs. When they're in that studio mastering the album, they have the song and they're very, oh my God, no, that's not the one. You got to take it out, we're doing it again. And sometimes they just cut it. They say no. They're very serious when they're in that, they're mastering, because he's on that sound.
The mastering of a music is the ultimate. The ultimate. That's where you get the stuff. That's where all the mistake, the errors, the noise. So if a mastering man tell us, listen, you gotta go back in the studio and do this and do that. Don't even question it. Just go do it.
He doesn't let no one question it. No. They'll do it again. They don't. You may have thought that it's good, but they are to perfection.
And even today is a lot of studio engineers say are mastering song, which I don't really approve of because I learned that from Jamaica that a man who master a song is a total different person from who missed the song in the studio.
So yeah, and I'm just curious about that because what you just said was, correct me if I'm wrong, was that you want a different engineer to come in and do the mastering than the engineer that did the recording, because he brings a whole different set of ears, a whole different,
Yes. Because a master engineer, that's what he studied for. He have ears that a studio engineer don't have. You understand?
Yeah.
A lot of things sometimes in the studio artists get away with, but when you go to the mastering room, you have to listen to the drum pattern, you have to listen to everything in sequence and in stereo, and then you hear some things where the master man will say, yo, Mightyful, you know, say this too hot or too high or too, because sometimes an engineer mix certain instrument higher than another one, so the mastering man have to balance all these things and sequence it so it can have the right effect.
Right.
So that's why I say the mastering is the ultimate. And today I see a lot of studio engineers saying they are mastering. No, they are not.
Right. Well, these days, these days, the technology is, you can have a whole studio on your laptop. It's easy for people to create music, but to take it to the ultimate level where it's this mastering process, which is still a bit of a mystery to me. Like, what is it that makes a great master? Is it just experience, or just the way that they hear the music? And do you have those ears? Do you like to be there when they're doing the mastering, or are you doing it yourself?
Sometimes I do, but like now, technology, I'm not, because when I done mix that tune, I send it to my mastering man in whether in England or in Georgia, Mr. Earl Older, or the guy named Bucky Joe. And they will listen and say, no, Mightyful, say you need to kind of make the engineer bring it back down to a level. This is too high. And then I make the engineer remix it or, bring it down, and then, they master it. Through technology, we do
Yeah.
Oh, hearing a little bit.
Little echo. Anyways, so I'm just curious because the technology's coming along, advancing all the time. I'm just wondering if you think one day they'll have, like say in Pro Tools or some of the other professional mixing software, they'll have like the master button, and you just press the button and you get a perfect master.
Well, I don't. Well, you never know what man will invent, but for now, I think to master a song, it take that human touch.
Yeah.
It take that human touch, That's what I believe in, because, you can hear it. Sometimes when you hear a song, when it mixed, when it master, you say, wow. You hear some song, because when it master now, everything is in stereo. You can't hear the separation of the bass and the treble and the mids and the drum. So when you listen that, it gives you that dynamic sound, and that's what master. That's why I always master my tune, always. A lot of people release mix and tune and just release it, put it out. They don't. It take money too,
Yeah.
It take money, but as it's a part of the 100% we speak about,
Yes.
Until that.
Yeah.
The mastering, good mastering, good song.
Well, we learned something today that the studio engineer is not the mastering engineer. So we realize now that's two different people that have to be involved in the music process when you're releasing your songs and your albums.
Of course. It's just like on record, all right. And I will go further. There's like, all right, there's a studio. There are studio where an engineer will record an artist. But you see that engineer to record the artist is not the one who's gonna mix that song. So you have recorded engineer, you have mixing engineer, and you have mastering engineer. You understand? Now today, a lot of people are assuming all roles. You know, for
Yeah.
instance, like I can tell you, like King Jammy. King Jammy is a record engineer and is a mixing engineer, but he also have engineer that will record his artist. But the final mixing is he gonna do it, and then he send it to his mastering engineer.
Mhm.
You know, but today with technology and shortcut, and people don't want to invest the right money in the music to make it right. You know, people are assuming that they are everything, which to me it's not. Just like I'm a producer, I'm not gonna go into the studio to voice a song and say I'm a singer. No, I stay in my lane, you know. I stay in
I
my lane, you
couldn't
know.
see. I couldn't see Fitzroy singing. That's why I don't know you.
Nothing in my bathroom, you know. What? Yeah, we're not going to.
It always sounds better in the bathroom. I think it's the tiles that
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
better or whatever.
But where can people, if they want to, come and utilize your services, and or they're artists and they want to come to you to voice on the Mightyful13 label, where can they get a hold of you?
Well, first they can go to DBoss. Can link DBoss. So, we're one of our representatives, and then they can find me on the social media with platform Mightyful. Once you type in Mightyful13, because there's only one Mightyful13 record. There's no official or original. There's just one Mightyful13 record. And Instagram and LinkedIn, and Facebook, Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm
Well,
not
people
into
may know now
TikTok
you
and
gave
all
a
these.
little secret that I was part. Well, Fitzroy, now you gave a bit of a secret away that I'm part of the Mightyful13.
No, from the advent you are.
Yes.
As I said, and I will reiterate that you is the first person advertise the name Mightyful13 record.
Mm-hmm.
And for that we are grateful, believe me. We can't pay you up to now. And you introduce a lot of artists too, because I remember you introduced this lady to me named Maxine with Terry,
Yeah.
and it was a good, yes. And you introduce a lot of artists, Dan Fire Beat, in Canada, and so you have done a lot for us. We really appreciate, love that.
Okay.
We're grateful. And now today we are with you speaking on the national TV in Canada. So how can we forget that DBoss is also a Mightyful13 record representative?
Thank you.
That's great. Fitzroy, listen, I hope you get up to Toronto sometime. It would be great to have you.
Yes.
Bring some of your artists. I would love to see Black Uhuru live in our studio here, live stream. It'd be great. And if you need a bass player, just let me know.
Because he plays bass.
Okay. Well, that's nice. Well, maybe one day I will need a bass from you to play one of my reggae songs.
Yeah, I would love to go to
with this pandemic, artists are limited to travel, and so we are just hoping and praying, meditating that we get through this pandemic, and then artists can restore back traveling, and people can gather as though they want to. So maybe we have to look beyond 2021. Because this 2020 is all gone in smoke right now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's all about praying for families and friends who is suffering from this untimely virus. So
Yeah.
but we are optimistic that one day we will resume what we love, and all in one circle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks, Fitzroy from Mightyful13.
Great to meet you.
It's a pleasure, and I say thank you again, DBoss, for this opportunity to
I love you guys.
And my vision, yeah. Really grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Big up all the crew and the people listening, and it's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Yeah,
all right.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with Talk It Out with Chill, DJ Despair, and ourselves, and our special guest. So stay tuned.
Jazzo. I'm saying
Okay.
Just so you know. We'll be right back.
Bye.
You are watching CaribVision.